Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
This one might be a little bit involved, but we got an update to do.
Yes. There has been a lot of non-taxable revenue created through a 501c3. And if anybody knows how to manipulate a 501c3, it's Jehovah's Witnesses and or anybody associated with Jehovah's Witnesses. Now you have to keep in mind that when we get into the information regarding the Jah Jireh or Jah Jireh, however you want to pronounce it, you have to realize that there has to be a tremendous amount of money to get a project like this off the ground to begin with. Remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a lot of information here. Now, I know many of you have seen the JW infomercial that we posted this past week. And oh my goodness,
wow.
Flooded with phone calls and emails and PMs. And I'm sure there's a ton of comments under the video. And first of all, I want to thank everyone so much.
Yes.
And especially for those who started digging deeper, because they have come up with some information. And that is why we're doing this update, is because it just needs to be done. Now, we started our file on the Jah Jireh homes back in 2014, because that's when we first became aware of these assisted living, nursing home, elderly care, whatever you want to call them, back then.
You have, let me interrupt for a minute, please.
You usually do.
You have to remember, Jehovah's Witnesses, as you're watching this video, think about your current mindset. And when you go back and look at that infomercial, and yes, it was an infomercial because right at the very end, they're clamoring for money. The economic situation around the world is getting such that we need your donations to keep this assisted living going for our older Jehovah's Witnesses. And during that infomercial, you're looking at brothers and sisters that spend a lifetime in Bethel service, in our service, the Watchtower. We weren't supposed to be in this system long enough for somebody to manipulate the system of a 501c3 to have assisted living for the elderly Jehovah's Witnesses. That destroys your mindset, Jehovah's Witnesses. We weren't supposed to be here this long for you to have nursing homes for Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well, the thing is they have the scripture several times, I believe, in that infomercial of taking care of widows and orphans.
Yeah.
For a mere $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, okay. Well, just before we get into that, this is so easy to rant about, because when you watch the infomercial, you hear how they're only hiring Jehovah's Witnesses as a non-charitable 501c3, a government entity.
Isn't that discrimination?
How can you hire only Jehovah's Witnesses and not be discriminatory? You are discriminating. How can you be a 50... See?
Well,
go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt you for
go ahead.
Because the residents have to be Jehovah's Witnesses, and the application has to be approved by elders in the congregation.
That's discrimination.
So if you are only taking in residents, the elderly that are in good standing in the congregation, and it has to be okayed for them to come in, that's discriminating against the entire world of non-JW. So how can you get funding from the government and keep your nonprofit status if you're discriminating against? But see, I know the IRS and the tax offices in other countries won't do anything until someone files a complaint.
Yes. And how is it that you can be a 501c3 accepting government funding to help finance all of this and be an equal opportunity employer? Your infomercial takes that right out of the equation. You're not an equal opportunity employer. So how can you qualify for a 501c3?
Well,
How?
the thing is if you notice on their website and stuff, it does not say at the bottom an equal opportunity employer. They will not state that because then they'd be in trouble.
But if there's enough voices screaming this to the IRS, then the IRS has to stand up and take note.
Yeah. Now, Kim, you called me earlier today and you asked where in Canada the Jah Jireh homes was up there. And when I went and got my file and opened it up to do this video, I found the little flyer that they put. And it's in Beamsville, Ontario. 4505 30 Road, Beamsville, Ontario. And it's called Jah Jireh Seniors Ministry Association. It has the phone number and their website. Now, it's interesting because inside they talk about their loving care and the same old BS that was in their infomercial.
Oh, yeah.
And it says, as we are a Canadian charitable nonprofit organization, tax receipts are issued for donations. So, of course, you can get your receipt for doing a donation. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to get into the meat and potatoes here, I want to thank Dwayne so much for sending me an email because he started digging further. And wow, he did a lot of work here. Really appreciate it, Dwayne. And he has attached several PDFs and links and stuff here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of this down below so that you can all go check it out. And let's see. He says the first link provided shows the skeins are JWs. Yeah, we knew that. And the website he sent is phinational.org. Articles, Jah Jireh Homes, America, Assisted Living Homes. And I'm just going to click on that. And what do we find? PHI, Quality Care Through Quality Jobs. And Jah Jireh Homes of America, Assisted Living Home for Jehovah's Witnesses, Honors, Faith, and Service. Don't start.
Quality care through quality jobs. But how can you be an equal opportunity and say you're offering jobs when it's only JWs you're giving these jobs to?
Well, see, they won't tell this clearinghouse website, that's what they do.
Right.
This, job website thinks that they're going to give
Equal opportunity.
quality jobs to everybody.
No way.
Yeah. Okay. This tells the story of Debbie and Darbin Skeens, two mission-driven
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that word. Can't talk today, from Pennsylvania, who are working to establish the first assisted living home for Jehovah's Witnesses in the U.S. The Skeens nonprofit corporation, Jah Jireh Homes of America, has relied on PHI's expertise to help shape just about every aspect of the project, including staffing patterns, pricing schemes, and training. So they're using this PHI to get all of this set up, but yet does PHI know that they're not going to hire anyone who is not a Jehovah's Witness?
That they're not an equal opportunity employer and that they're only going to house and home elderly Jehovah's Witnesses. I'll bet they don't.
Now, right underneath that paragraph is View Resource, and they have a PDF there that you can click on. That is the Jah Jireh Homes of America case study. And they go through this whole thing of how this project was all done. Now, what's interesting is you get down here and let's see here. Thought they talked about funding. The board members, oh yeah, talk about the board members, and just wonder what connection they have with the board members in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania.
Well, I can't help but read
exactly.
that they're out of Pennsylvania. So is the board of directors. Because keep in mind, friends, there are two Watchtower Bible Tract Societies: the Watchtower Bible Tract Society of New York and the Watchtower Bible Tract Society of Pennsylvania. These are two separate corporations. You've got to remember that.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting because, let's see, under Operationalizing the Vision, the third paragraph down, PHI's lead consultant, Kathy McCullough, has worked closely with the Jah Jireh board from early on. When they contacted PHI, they had no idea that PHI had one of Jehovah's Witnesses on staff. I was thrilled to hear about this project and have felt privileged to be able to be a part of it, says McCullough. Oh yeah, I'm sure they knew.
They knew.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the PDF for that, and I'm going to go back here to Dwayne's email. All right. Now, he says the first link shows that they were Jehovah's Witnesses in PDF. The second link shows some very impressive professional achievements, sales, and or involvement. $350 million in 4 years for Deborah Skeen. Side note here, having been in the real estate business before, commercial real estate pays a 10% commission. 50% to brokers, 50% to salespersons. You do the math. So then, one additional side note, look at the very last statement under experience for Darbin Skeens. The 1 million approximately Watchtower parking lot had to be rezoned last year before it could be sold. If you could, it would be interesting to know if anybody knows this family. And it's S-K-E-A-N-S, Skeens.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The second link here is the real estate firm where they currently hang their shingles. Considering the number of Skeens employed at the firm and the positions held, I will make an educated guess that the family owns some of it, if not all, of SVN Imperial Realty. Real estate.
Yeah.
These two, Darbin and Deborah Skeens, are movers and shakers in the commercial real estate industry. These two Jehovah's Witnesses have to think, eat, and drink real estate. Money, commissions. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so when you click on the second link, it goes to SVN Imperial, and it has Deborah Skeens right at the top, her experience. And there it is. Over the past 4 years, she has sold or consulted on the disposition of over $350 million of land and commercial property. And then her husband, Darbin Skeens, is second. Now, it's interesting. They're listed as both senior advisors.
I wonder if all this money they're making, if they're regular pioneers.
Oh, no.
Because pioneering isn't for the rich, folks. It's for the rank and file.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when you go down here to the realty records, he has the address of 2005-1 Bevan Drive, Allenton, Pennsylvania. You view the records. He's got the real estate records. Now, this is where Deep Throat comes in, because I sent this information to him along with the linked LINKED profile of Deborah Skeens. And it's interesting because when you go to the U.S. Realty records, the property report on the 2051 Bevan Drive, full evaluation, $2,553,000. Valuation. Now remember that. That's kind of like the property appraisal.
$2,553,000.
What did I say?
$53.
Oh, yeah.
Kim's tired.
Yeah, and I've been sick, so I'm kind of out of it. You'll have to excuse me. I'm a little bit out of it.
I'll help her along the way.
Help me. I need all the help I can get.
That's what I get paid to do.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you, Deep Throat, for doing further research on this, because he come up with something that's pretty enlightening about the Skeens and how they know how to manipulate real estate property.
Yeah. Okay, so what he did is he went to that county assessor's website, and this is the Lehigh County, Pennsylvania website, and I'll have the link down below, the assessment property records. And when you put in this property, the 2051 Bevan Drive, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and you scroll down, taxes paid, 0. So obviously they had their corporation, their nonprofit corporation of Jah Jireh, buy this property, and they aren't paying any taxes.
You know, remember the property value is $253 million.
Yeah, $2.5 million.
$2.5 million.
Yeah, see, total.
Yeah.
Total taxable land, building, all that is $2.5 million. Okay, now scroll to the bottom of this page of the assessment property, and this is what ticks me off. Okay, in January of 2014, Jah Jireh Homes of America bought this property for $475,000. That's pretty cheap.
Yep.
And they bought
That's
it from
quite
Posh Properties.
Quite a bit below assessed value, huh?
Yeah. Now, it appears that as soon as that went through, 2 months later, in March of 2014, Jah Jireh Homes of America, Allentown, a second corporation, bought it for $1. And in all this time, since Jah Jireh Homes of America bought this, guess how much taxes they've paid?
Aren't you folks loving a 501c3, how it applies to Watchtower and their agents?
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys do the math. Okay.
Well, look, I'll just sum this up, okay? Allentown, Pennsylvania, you got hosed. Allentown, you got hosed.
Yeah, because they're getting away with this. Now, get this. Because this particular building, it has here, because it is listed as a nursing home, assisted living group care building. It looks like 2.42 acres. And it has all the listed taxes, 0 paid. Okay, now I just had it here of how many, living units, 40. So you times $5,000 times 40, that's a whole lot of money coming in every month.
Tax-free.
Yeah, they're taking care of the widows and the orphans. Yeah, for megabucks. I wish I had, that kind of money coming in. Okay, now this is Deep Throat. Thank you so much, sweetie, for going and finding this. This was just, made my day. Okay. Deborah Skeens, I love it, a.k.a. Uber JW, commercial real estate advisor. Little Miss Super Spiritual owns the corporation that is fleecing elderly JWs. The Skeens nonprofit corporation, Jah Jireh Homes of America. Then he's got the link for the PHI National. I tracked down the Jah Jireh property through the Lehigh County Tax Assessor, and we'll put the link down below to that. It's got the parcel ID and everything. So you all can have fun looking that up. It appears as if Ms. Super Spiritual Real Estate Wheeler Dealer Deborah Skeens bought a $700,000 property in January 2014 for only $475,000. Quite the deal. Through her nonprofit corporation number 1, Jah Jireh Homes of America, she then sold the same property to herself 2 months later through her other nonprofit corporation number 2, Jah Jireh Homes of America, Allentown. Sale price $1. So Miss Skeens got a $474,999 tax write-off for selling her property to herself as a charity/501c3. The Jah Jireh property is currently valued at the $2.5 million that we mentioned, on which she pays no taxes as a 501c3. Yep. Taxable total, 0. Then he says, no doubt after she's raked in millions of dollars by fleecing older JWs, one day she'll sell the whole thing after unincorporating and make a bundle for her retirement.
But see, isn't this one of Watchtower's schemes? Because they have all convinced us that Watchtower was a non-profit organization, and when you do some of the investigating of Watchtower, the only corporation that they donate money to is to the International Bible Students, and we all know Watchtower owns them. So all they're doing is they're taking all of that money, non-taxable, giving it back to themselves so they don't have to pay taxes on it. And that's the same damn thing that this Uber Duber JW did right here. She sold it back to herself for $1. She is in. Somehow, some way, she is connected with the board of directors in Pennsylvania. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, because she's learned the tricks of the trade and she's getting super filthy rich off of this. All because they are a 501c3 and they know how to manipulate the system.
Exactly. But without giving too much away, Mikey's been working on another video.
This whole Jah Jireh thing, this was a prequel to an upcoming video regarding what I've read in this book by Peter Kershaw. It's not much of a book, but it is power-packed. In Watchtower, when I get done using scripture in relation to what's written in here, wow.
They're no better than what the world calls the whore of Babylon.
They're no better than the whore of Babylon. And you've got another one right here that's learned from Watchtower how to manipulate a 501c and make millions of dollars and give it back to themselves through another non-profit organization.
Oh, yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much, everybody, for doing this information. And I'm sure there's more in my email box of others who have been doing this research and have found stuff, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to your email yet. But I've been getting a lot of information on this, and so we'll keep everybody up to date.
But it still boils down to this. For you older folks, you older Jehovah's Witnesses that were part of the infomercial, in your wildest dreams in working for Watchtower, did you ever think you were going to grow old and die in this system of things? Did you honestly think that you were going to be pooping your own underwear and another JW was going to have to wipe you clean? Did you ever think for one moment, because the new system was just around the corner? Hey, choke on your own words, Watchtower.
Well, that's why towards the end of that infomercial, I could have just, slapped that old lady. She's got 3 kids and they're not in the truth. And I prefer to live here. It's like, wow.
Yeah, you would actually prefer a stranger changing your shitty diapers in your own family members, because that's your living condition. And Joanne, my mother, I sure hope you see this, because that's what you're looking at right now.
She doesn't have the money to live in one of those.
Oh, yeah, really? I wonder how that's going to happen, because you know what, Mom? Don't look at me, because you are shunning me. This is your choice, and this is the choice of every one of these old JWs in here that still think the new system is around the corner. Yeah, right.
Maybe this is a good time to read this that we got from a friend.
Go ahead.
Someone sent us something that is circulating around Canada, I believe.
Or it did at one time.
Or, Nova Scotia? Somewhere up north there. And this is something that was written, and I guess this is touching some nerve, because this is being passed even by Jehovah's Witnesses. So I'm just going to read this.
Just make sure you leave out the names. And maybe just use the initials, because this whole thing was written with real people's names and telephone numbers.
Yeah.
So we won't read the names, maybe just the first initial and the last initial.
Yeah. Or the first name and first initial.
Okay.
Okay. My conversation with dearly departed soul of Donald Eisner. Why did I die? Your heart failed. Why did my heart fail? You left your house just after midnight in minus 10 degrees Celsius winter weather, fell face first in a ditch, and used plowed snow as a mattress until mid-morning when you were found dead. Why did I leave my house? You were left unattended with an advanced degenerative mental condition, and you either became confused and wandered off, or you had a lucid moment and committed suicide. Why did my only living son, Benny, one of Jehovah's Witnesses, abandon me? In the early 1970s, you refused to comply with a newly changed Watchtower doctrine and policy and were disfellowshipped from the Shuben Akadi Kingdom Hall. From that point on, Benny viewed you as spiritually executed and refused further association with you. This changed slightly when you recently came into a certain sum of money from the sale of a valuable piece of land.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who now are the JW elders complicit with my spiritual execution? Dave P., Jim T., Bill C., Hugh M., Gerald M. Why have the media, the police, and the Alzheimer's Society done nothing for me after my death? They have already profited from your death. They are best hopelessly incompetent, or at worst, criminally complicit. Expect nothing from any of them. Why has the community done nothing for me either? They are either uninformed, lazy, cowardly, morally bankrupt, or any combination of these. Still, now that they are informed, ...
Yep.
What should I do now? When you pass through heaven's gate, tell God that as much as I would have liked to have forever sunk my fetid claws into your soul, I am afraid an eternity of suffering here would be as nothing compared to the exquisite agonies you felt at the hands of the Jehovah's Witnesses torturers. Besides, being disfellowshipped by them for any reason at all hardly constitutes a sin for which it is worth burning you forever in the flames of hell. Even I have standards. From the desk of Satano El Diablo of the Church of the Damned.
Yeah, and that's what you are, Jehovah's Witnesses. You're the Church of the Devil and the Church of the Damned.
Yes. So thank you so much, for sending us that.
Yes.
We got it in the mail this morning, and I retyped it up, and it brings tears to my eyes because this is a true story.
Yeah, this is a true story.
A true story.
Yeah.
So on that sad note, we hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend. And our kids are coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got company coming this weekend, so we hope you all have a wonderful day.
All right, bye.
Bye.